In this video, we're going to be talking about how I am setting up my Hobonichi, which I'm using to track social media, my cleaning schedule, and my routines, which include my planning routines, in addition to my morning, evening, and weekly reset routines. This is a two-part series. We're going to be covering what I'm going to be using the monthly and weekly sections for in my Hobonichi. And then in the next video, we're going to get into the monthly memo pages and the daily pages and how each of those are going to be set up. The monthly I'm going to be using for social media. And I don't want to get my fabric cover messed up, so I'm going to take the planner out. I am also probably going to be planning out my Instagram posts later on this year, but right now I don't have the bandwidth for that, so I'm just focusing on YouTube. So I'll fill in what my actual posting schedule is going to be off camera because I want to keep it a surprise, but this is just an example for you to see how I'm color coding the days that I'm posting using the Cove Blue ink and the days that I'm filming using the Stone Blue ink. I want to keep it really simple and really functional. I like that they include some of the months from 2027 so that once I get closer to those months, at the end of this year, I can plan out my YouTube videos. In the sidebar, I have the planning routine for every week. These need to get checked off when I'm planning out the next week. I usually do that during my weekly reset, which takes place on Sunday afternoons. So the first step in my planning routine is to set up the scheduled and to-do sections. And this is referring to my home planner. This is where I'm keeping my routines for home to tell me what I need to be doing throughout the day. When it says planning routine, this is how to set up my week in my home planner. So set up, scheduled, and to-do sections. So I add the header to the top for scheduled, and then I add to-do. Add scheduled tasks. So those come from my monthly list and my monthly calendar in the home planner. Migrate incomplete tasks from last week. For that, I flip to the week prior and I transfer any tasks that didn't get done into this week, or if it's something that no longer matters, maybe it gets moved to the Sunday maybe list, which I keep at the front under the list tab in my home planner. Schedule in monthly list tasks with deadlines. At that point, I would already have my multi-step task monthly list and single-step task monthly list set up, and I would go to those pages and I would pull the tasks with deadlines and schedule them in. Then it says schedule in monthly list tasks without deadlines. So once again, I would reference these two monthly lists and plan them into the appropriate days. Update Hobonichi with next week's routines and cleaning schedule. So now that means that I'm done with the home planner, and that is when I would plan out the next week for my routines, because my routines are going to be kept on the weeklies. And then this week ends on the 11th, so then I would start by filling in the daily pages starting with January 12th. Just to explain, my Hobonichi is not my weekly schedule. I'm still sticking to a general weekly schedule, but the Hobonichi is just to track the individual tasks within the routine so that I can check them off and make sure that I'm not forgetting to do anything. And because it's not my weekly schedule, that means that I'm not following the hours that are listed on the side. So on here it says 5 and then it goes all the way to 4. So each day represents 24 hours, but I'm not time blocking this. This is to just track tasks. I do have my morning routine at the top, and then I'm going to go into the evening routine next, but I'm not sticking to the hours. I work as a lab manager and researcher from Monday to Friday. So my routine that I'm going to be trying out is slightly modified from what I was previously doing. So I wrote down 5 a.m., wake up, put contacts in, wash face. 5:15 to 5:45 is quiet time, so I would see my face planner during that time for what I am working on. 5:45, hair and makeup. 6:10, eat breakfast. 6:30, see cleaning schedule. So for that, I would flip to the daily pages for that day. And then I would have from 6:30 to 7 to complete those. At 7, I have Etsy and Shopify until 7:40. And then at 7:40, get dressed, brush teeth, and floss. Then I leave for work at 8 a.m. I usually get home from work at about 6:30. So at that point, I would see my fitness planner for details on the workout for that day. And then I would see my meal planner for the dinner that I have scheduled for that day. Then eat dinner, and then I would see my home planner for the tasks that I need to get done. Usually that has to do with Etsy and Shopify. Then once I'm done with those, I can start the rest of my evening routine. I have take shower, brush teeth, wash face, read a book, and then go to bed by 9:30. And of course, the amount of time that I get to read for is dependent upon when I get my home planner tasks done by. And I didn't assign times to my evening routine because I get home sometimes later. It's dependent upon how much traffic there is. So I don't want to stress myself out about getting everything done by a specific time. I have a general idea of when I should be starting each task, but it's not planned to a strict time like the morning routine is. I have the morning routine at the top, and that is indicated by this sun. Then I have a section in the middle for work, indicated by this car, so that's from 8 to 6:30 approximately. And then the evening routine starts, and that's indicated by the moon. So throughout the day, as I'm completing each of the tasks associated with my routine, I check it off. So because these are modified versions of my routine, I want to be checking it off each time I complete the task because I don't have the routine memorized at the moment. And I am not going to be decorating every single week because I just honestly do not have time for that. I'm showing you what decorations could look like during the weeks that I feel like decorating. I will only be decorating if I feel like it, if it's going to be something that's relaxing and fun to me. Otherwise, I'm not going to put the pressure on myself. During the weeks that it's not decorated, it's still going to follow this same structure. I can try to get creative with this in how to save time. Maybe I can use stickers instead of stamps. Maybe I can use my computer to type up my routine and print that onto stickers. So I work Monday to Friday, so those routines are all the same for those 5 days. And then on Saturday and Sunday, the morning routines are a little bit different for each day. And starting at 8 a.m., I start working on YouTube, Etsy, and Shopify, depending on whatever is the priority for that day. And that is from 8 a.m. until about 4 p.m. And then process inbox and planner updates and cleaning. I didn't add that here because that's not really a routine. That's part of my schedule. And I know when I see this 8 a.m. YouTube, Etsy, Shopify, that I start this sequence of events. For the cleaning for that day, we'll talk about that in the next video in this series. See fitness planner workout, so that's the same as normal. And then see meal planner, and that tells me the prep work that needs to be done for future days, like thawing chicken or something, or what the planned meal is for that night. And then we get into see home planner tasks. So then I check my home planner for those tasks. and take shower, brush teeth, wash face, read a book, go to bed by 9:30. So that's the same as normal. Then we get to Sunday. Sunday morning routine is very similar to Monday through Friday, but the difference is that at 6:30 I start filming a YouTube video, and then at 8 a.m. if I'm done filming by that point, then I can start editing a little bit and then leave for church. Then I have my weekly reset. And so as you can see from this weekly schedule, this is what an ideal week would look for me. It's not necessarily what is possible every week, because sometimes I just have to work on Etsy longer than other weeks. So I have this block of time reserved for my weekly reset routine. I'm going to be writing out my weekly reset tasks in the daily pages along with my cleaning schedule tasks. And that's because my weekly reset, a lot of it is kind of like related to cleaning. It's routine maintenance tasks that need to happen every week. So I just decided that it would be best to keep track of that on the daily pages. So the daily pages don't necessarily just have to be for cleaning, they're also for my weekly reset. So this symbol here, I put laundry because I usually always do my laundry on Sundays during my weekly reset. And so this block of time is represented by this icon. And then we get to the evening routine. And here we don't have a workout because I've already worked out 6 days that week. I say see meal planner, so we go into the normal routine again. That tells me what I need to prep for dinner, then eat dinner, then see home planner tasks, then take shower, brush teeth, wash face, read a book, go to bed by 9:30. In the next video in this series, we're going to finish setting up this Hobonichi, and we're also going to be talking about how I'm going to be tracking my weekly reset routine, tracking my daily, weekly, and monthly planning routines, making sure I don't forget anything, don't forget to update a specific planner. And then we're also going to be talking about what my daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly home maintenance and cleaning tasks are going to be for 2026 and how I am using my Hobonichi for that. For more functional planning videos, check out this video next, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye!
Are we just running backwards? Every page has got the same word.